other ones. Kick and Discord. All right. So yeah, let's see who jumps in here. Actually, I need to set things up real quick before I lose myself. Good morning, Donnell. Let's see. I literally and let me so all right, so let's jump over here to Yahoo. All right, so let's first of all look at this, what we got on scans. So on scans, leading the day is 104% mover RMCO. Next in line is F or SMFL, which was moving yesterday. We have some cheaper ones, ASST and SNES, under $1 that, could do something. We're going to look into the news catalyst here in a second. RKLB up 15% as well. So below this, I don't know why I threw Mara up here. I think I was just looking through some stuff on Mara. All right, let's move this over here to the main screen. Actually, I didn't need to move this over here. I can just open it like this. Open it over here in my personal and current watch. Okay, so starting with our guy RMCO. See if it has any catalyst or anything like that. Royal Management Holding announced that Ferox Holdings confirmed the commencement of production of titanium ferrite from its Tivani operating site. So they do have some news. I mean, it's been a while since we've actually seen some catalysts. But yeah, RMCO does have some news. Let's go and check out those floats and all of that good stuff. RMCO. Statistics looking like we got a float of 1.53 million on RMCO. Okay, let's back check that. Yep, under a million in the float over here on FinViz. So this one could be a boomer on Friday. We'll see. And it has catalyst. Float over here under a million. So two of the sources say under a million in the float. RMCO. Let's see if it has any shelf. No shelf registrations. Nothing at the short squeeze. Okay. All right, so let's jump on to the next one. I think SMFL, I think everybody's seen that one. It's up 62% right now. I don't know how much it had a fall from yesterday. Traded in this area right around 250, but could not hold it. Fell through 250 all the way down here to 150 and coming back for a retest of 250. I don't know if it can continue back up. But maybe. Didn't really have a catalyst on yesterday, but I guess it may be releasing bag holders. We'll see what happens on the open though. We'll keep it on there. ASST is the next one. Not really seeing any catalyst there. Let's jump down to SNES. SNES. Sins Tech. No catalyst there. Below $1. RKLB. Looking like up 15%. Rocket Lab.
Just dating back all the way to December. I mean, then you get the lows in April, a little bit higher, and then kind of set this base. It goes on a run after that April low,
Mm-hmm.
and I think it's big that it's able to get over that 6 level and continue running up towards that 8. And you can see back in January of 22, that's that 8 resistance. So being able to show that strength and then come in and hold a higher low, it might not be ready to go today, but as long as it can keep consolidating sideways, that wick high from December 14th, just last week, that actually is an area that I think could be a breakout level. So getting an early entry, this entices me for like swings, because if you look at like July low, like July 6th is the day. That's 550, we'll call it. And then you look at August, 550 holds, and it's trying to hold 550, gives it up, and that's what it tested here on December. Uh, so I'm not gonna sit here and say, oh, this is gonna get ready to go, but like going into like next year or next week, like if it can continue holding this, that I think that 550 is actually end up gonna be a breakout
Yeah.
area.
Also, if anybody doesn't know, that's Reliable Rudy talking. He's usually in the chat. He just wanted to jump in today and talk some stocks. So, yeah, that's the voice you guys are hearing.
How's it going, guys?
But yeah, Rocket Lab, looking on the higher time frames, looks like it's got an interesting level that's been holding around that 450 maybe. Right now it's trading around the 515. Looks like it during pre-market it got down there right under the 5, so maybe that's a spot that it tries to hold. But also on the 4-hour chart, it does have a gap that it could be, well, it kind of did feel this morning. It had a gap from 521 up to 550 that it was filling. I can show you this. This is, oops, let me make this a little bit smaller. This gap right here on the 4-hour, this is on Friday of last week during the pre-market, had this gap, filled this gap, came back through the gap right there on the 4-hour. Let's see.
Just to add a little bit more to the Rocket Labs, I just kind of pulled up some of the numbers, just a little quick recap. One of the things I was really looking for this to have was a nice uh, gross margin. You know, it has 22% margin. The margins are slightly increasing as the quarter goes, but still not even close to profitability. Uh, but not the worst revenue growth. You got not the most amount of share
We
dilution over the last few quarters.
Yeah,
The
I was
float
gonna
is a
say
little
we
bit
got
higher
we
for
got one
sure.
quick one. NXTP just popped up 115%. NXTP. This one right here. This one popped from $1 up here to 285. Just popped on. It is 100 and it's got 3 million shares traded on it. Let's look for any catalyst. Not seeing any catalyst, but definitely some motion in the ocean there. Let's go over here to the larger time frame. We see it's gotten beat down a little bit. Let me move this over here so y'all can see what I'm seeing here. Main. So on the larger time frame, we can see beat down on the monthly, weekly chart. Had a high up here, what, 174, which is already kind of touched there and came back through. We had a high of 236. Okay, so 175, 236. And then we have one up here at the 333s. For some reason this month, things just have not needed catalysts. They just kind of take off, you know. And it kind of, it's a slightly aggravating thing, especially when you are used to using certain criteria to get in. You're like, okay, what's the catalyst? What's this? What's this? What's this? And these things are just blowing up. Lori, so about poll. Later on in the day, poll went crazy. So you were definitely right later in the day. That thing, I. I don't know if you traded it, but oh boy. And Poll was another example of something not having news and just going. So for those, I just kind of leave them alone. But I know Lori made millions on it, so whatever, man, whatever. But let's see. Back over here to the scans real quick. So this is kind
I
of
think
what we're
there's
looking at on the top volume.
I think there's some
RMMCO.
good
You said
my
what?
bad. I mean, I think there's some good information to go with this NXTP. Not only like right when that came up on the scans, it has a really nice green candle off that in this
Hold up, let me share your
pre-market.
screen so they can see what you're looking at. All right, you
I'm
shared. Go.
I'm actually on my off screen, but really that 200 EMA is off that 105. And what's interesting about that 105 is it's really basically this previous low that it consolidated and held like this whole time. You have a couple tests. It was actually able to break that 200. It's trying to hold that 200, and then you can see it rejecting it in these past couple days. Really light volume from. But I do like these nice three healthy green candles. This one not so much.
Mm-hmm.
But that was that first day of volatility, a lot of volume on that day. But now, as soon as it really took that 105 today in the pre-market, that's when it's really starting to take off. So, I mean, this could be one that any type of pullbacks into these tops could be something worth to dip your toes in. And if you're lucky, or if it goes against you, don't panic so much because you know you got that 200 day that can hold. And so, really, that 110 and retest at 200 could be something there. It might not even give a pullback, but I like that look that you brought up there.
Yep.
Let you take it away.
Let's see. So pretty much those are the top two movers. RMCO and NXTP. The only thing is with RMCO1, it's got less than a million in the float, so it may be a little bit more interesting to day traders, which it looks like it is because it's receiving some pretty heavy volume over here of 11 million over NXTP's 3 million on the morning. Let's actually go and look at some of the statistics for NXTP real quick to see what that float is over here.
Low float. 6 million
And
is what I'm seeing.
let's see. Yeah, it's got 3 million according to Yahoo. Let's cross check that. NXTP got about 4 million over here. Market Watch.
Oh, I'm missing like a year's worth of data. This is data from 22 of third quarter.
Okay, got a float of 4 million here. Does it have any kind of shelves? NXTP. Next Play Technologies. Shelf registration from 2021, so that's pretty old. They're probably not even going to be, they don't care about that. They're going to trade that today. NXTP. Okay, so at the short squeeze, another 4 million. So confirmation on the 4 million. Most of these places are having 4 million. When we look at the insiders owning, look at their percentage compared to the owned by institutions. Now, this does have a 20-minute delay from the shortsqueeze.com, but still, that's like what, 5 times what the institutions are holding. So it looks like it could be a pump by people that are just holding. If they just get in and hold, maybe it'll go up, but not really a strong catalyst on that one. Like RMCO actually has, they actually are increasing their titanium operations, but we'll see which one becomes a winner in the end. Let me see what else we got.
I was also looking at this CDTX. If you want to hop over to my screen here,
Yeah, I am.
I all I do really to find plays, I don't scan. I just look at the top movers, and I really only hold relevance to the ones that are, trading, preferably over $1. This one isn't a good example. It's 88 cents at the moment. Uh, but I do think it's relevant. Kind of like that Rocket Labs, how it was able to show that strength to kind of make a run back in early in the year and get over top. I call this a neckline. Anytime you can set a higher low confirmation, like same way as I would
Morning, one
call
life.
this a neckline right here. Like you have a nice slight volume increase, you're positive on your strength, and you have these bull flags that are panning out. Well, you're able to channel all the ways down. So this is channeled for pretty much almost the entirety of the year. And now I would look at this 75 level as almost another neckline. So gap up, any pullbacks into that 75 may be worth like small size, and if you're lucky, you can get some volume that also sees the same thing as this. But
We got
I
a
wouldn't say it's confirmed channel break here, but I think the CDTX may be worth looking into just a little bit.
CDTX. Is that up here? Let me see.
I'm gonna go look at some stuff with this, and you can take it away, or maybe if you have some stuff that you want to add there.
Let me go and see CDTX. For some reason, looks like TD
It's a
Ameritrade.
little bit higher float, 90 million. Looks like they got to be something. Yeah, therapeutics company. I mean, they're taking full margins, but they're not nearly close to profitability yet.
I may have to restart my TD Ameritrade. It looks like it's pausing, but I'm still hearing you on stream, and there's no issues with the stream. And I'm still seeing their chats coming through. GD did ask a question about float checker. He said, "Did float checker still work?" Let me see. I need to cancel out a TD real quick because it's tripping. TD in task. All right, let's get TD back open. Can you hear me well?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Cool.
And it looks like we do have a little bit of news on this CD. Announces European approval of this Renzeo. I'm not sure how to pronounce that, for a treatment of invasive. I'm not sure. Maybe you can pronounce this a little bit better
Let
than
me
me.
come over and look at it real quick. What are you trying to pronounce
Just the news catalyst on this
on
CD.
CDTX? There we go. Come on up. Come on up, TD.
So when it says approval, that means that this is like able to go on the shelves and they can basically sell this. It's not like a trial or
So let me read what you're looking at here.
okay, phase 2. I can see supported phase 2 clinical trials.
Okay, so it says Sedera Therapeutics announced Rezao has been approved in the European Union for invasive diet. Oh my gosh, diasis in
Yeah, I was in the
adults.
same.
You know, when they come out with words like that, I'm just like, bro, y'all really solving problems or y'all just creating words? Come on now.
Right.
But yeah, let's see. Therapeutics announces European, blah blah blah. This is a immuno-oncology. So this is a little bit of cancer news. It's got some cancer in its definitions. And it says what phase 2, phase 3, pivotal restore, and approval based on positive results of phase 3 for a specific drug, restore, and then supported by the Strive phase 2. Okay, so that's two different drugs. Looks like they're working with. I don't know. I don't know what that one's gonna do. It was that the one. Is it even up here on the scan? No, it's not on my scan. It must have a low ATR or something. Let me see. CDTX. ATR is 5 cents. Yeah, it wouldn't show up anyway. The ATR is way too low for me to even touch it or breathe on it.
Yeah, this one's probably not one that's just gonna rip people's faces off, but
Yeah, I'm looking
I
for
think it.
something that's gonna.
I think I'm looking for like that's one thing I should be clear with people. I'm looking for something that I can get an entry on, trim some levels to the upside, but I'm looking to hold it as long as it'll let me hold it. So probably a little bit different from some people that are tuning in. But I'm trying to
Let,
capture the whole move, and a lot of times, sometimes greed it gets in the way of that, and I end up holding it right back in. Like if some winners I hold all the ways back in to the point
float
where
checker.
sometimes they're even losers. So I'm
Let me see.
uh,
Float checker. So GD had called out this float checker thing. So let me see if this thing. I've never used float checker. I usually just compare the. I usually just don't trust one source that's telling me the float. Because sometimes, some days we come in, it's like, oh yeah, this thing's got 3 million in the float, and then we check another place, it's like 83 million. So I kind of cross check and just do a majority rules type thing. with it because some data is delayed. I just kind of like the majority. What are the most people gonna see, right? Um, but looking at float checker, I went out here to see the website, but it didn't really float checker. That's stocks to trade. Did they change their name to stocks to trade? I don't really know. What I do know is we have about 8 minutes to the bell. Um, and like I said, I mean, float checker, if it doesn't pop up super quick, I know that it's probably may not be searched a whole lot. See, I put in float checker and the first thing came up was FinViz. And I already have FinViz up here. So things that are searched a lot, more people tend to use them. So float checker, I don't know. Wasn't the first thing that came up. What is knowthefloat.com? Let's see. See, they're using FinViz, Yahoo Finance. They're using the ones that I'm using anyway. They're just kind of collect, kind of just bring it all into one spot. But same thing, knowthefloat.com. But anyway, let's look at those top two movers that are doing their thing today, which is NXTP and RMCO. And also, let's jump over here to the scans real quick and see if there's anything else coming up the charts. We got Nike down 12%. We have, and that's a quarterly dividend. It needs to fall a little bit more. I buy Nike. Well, I don't know. Do I really want Nike? I don't know. We'll see. Yen falling 10%. Plug is up here on the top volume movers. Tesla still up here. Yes, sir. Nikola, and not a whole lot of other ones. So we'll kind of see what happens on the open. Got about 7 minutes to the bell. You got anything else?
I would say that C limited. I've been dipping into that one.
C
I
limited.
think
Oh,
I think
SC.
it's
Let me go look at that.
I think it's possible that this ends up flat bottom breaking, but if it can find a way back over 40, I think it has a legitimate neckline at those upper 40s to fill the gap. So maybe sometimes playing that support level
Now that
can
I
give you
can
nice
kind of
moves.
agree with you on because it's trading. If you look over here on, I'll bring this over. Look over here on the monthly chart. This thing has gotten beat to sleep down here under what 40. So if we look back here, and this is why I like trading things that have more than 5 years of trading because you can kind of look back and see historically what happened in these areas. So uh, we got a couple of levels of trading through here.
I would definitely say there is some levels to the downside too, and just to be transparent, I've looked into a little bit there. I don't know if you're familiar with some of India. They're making it so that you have to uh, pass certain privacy. So that kind of cut into that. That was part of this drop. Is they're not relevant to some of the privacy uh, parts of their platform to India, so they lost out on a lot of business to India. And I
Oh,
believe they also have a lawsuit that I haven't looked the most into. So
oh.
I'm not just sitting here saying that, hey, this is
Wait,
a
does
home
SD
run.
pay a dividend?
I don't believe so.
Ah, I
But I
love
will
lawsuits
say
on dividend companies.
but I will say that I do think fundamentally as a company they have a lot of things that I like, and if it did give up this support, it would probably be something that I end up trying to build along into. But just relevance to this these 35 support, I will say that the volume is definitely there for the name. And each time it's been down to that 35, it has been bought up. So sometimes that is enough for me to try and take some like that, like a 40 break would be something that I'd be looking to average up today. Uh, if it can show that it can hold above 40. But if you get that break over top of that, what's that high in October? I think you'll get the gap fill, and I think it's possible that you can get some volatile movement in this. I mean, we've seen some crazy runners, especially in this Q3 or Q4 for sure. So definitely in decent margins. I think this year they actually putting up profitability on a gap basis, which is a little bit more slowed growth. But if they can show profitability, that's just a cherry on top for the position.
For sure. Let me I'm gonna go ahead and start cleaning off the rest of these charts. We see MULN coming back up. MULN just really just did not take my heart. It's just, you know, one of those dangerous moves that, you know, may have helped some people out if they were just holding MULN, but this usual volume has died, man, since it increased in price. Ain't nobody trying to touch it because they know they're like just staying. Right now, it has 400,000 shares on it and trading. It's just like everybody's in limbo right now. The other thing that we had looked at the top of the week though is the SPY and the Nasdaq, what they were doing, and I was thinking maybe this was a double top up here on the SPY coming into this 470 level, and so I was very cautious of this week. I kind of figured we were going to see some crazy stuff. And not only that, it's doing this into a holiday weekend. So it came up here right into the 475 ish levels or whatnot. And I was like, most breakouts usually end up pulling back first, you know, and this one didn't even break out. The actually the NQ broke out. The SPY wasn't able, it didn't have the strength to. So this is not the NQ. I think it's NQ like that. Yeah. NASDAQ mini. Um, it had the actual breakout here where it broke, but I'm thinking it could actually pull back and retest this 16 or this level here that it broke. So I wasn't too confident. It has been holding this level for a couple of days though, but it did have quite a bit of a drop off. You can see here on the 4-hour chart where it actually dropped down. And yeah, so we were kind of in limbo there as well. But we got about 3 minutes to the bell. We'll see what these top two we have about 2 minutes to the bell. We'll see what these top two do. RMCO and what was that other one? NXTP.
NXTP. I like this NXTP, but I'm probably gonna need to see the first candle on this one. But that 150 break was pretty legit, or even you could call it a 105, just reclaiming that 200 period, getting over top of just that consolidated period is, I'd say, a move in itself. So worth
Mullen
watching for
over
sure.
14, back over 14. I'm gonna clean up some of this scan here. Go ahead and get on down to some things that are actually moving. Got about a minute 20 left. And so far we're looking at oh, GD said, did you adjust your ATR or relative volume on TOS for your scanner or watch list? No, I'm using a regular ATR. I tried different calculations, but the regular one just works. So I was like, well, whatever. No need to do to try to fix what's not broken. So I just use a regular ATR. And then for the relative volume standard deviation, I'm usually, as long as it's over like one, once it gets over one standard deviation out, I know it's heading towards being abnormal. But what I'm usually trading is over two, so I just use the regular one on that one too. But you can you can always modify it, but I just use the regular because I don't want to modify it away from what everybody else is using. If what's working is what everybody else is using, I don't want to create something custom that's gonna mess me up. Yeah, RMCO coming out here. Let me continue to read. One Life, we were looking at CDTX. Yeah, he was looking at CDTX on his screen. We just got the open on RMCO, and we see RMCO has a top here at the 450 break. 450 getting shot through right there a little bit. Previous bodies of these candles up here at 450. This one has had 2 months of trading, so this is its second month of trading coming off of this off of the lows at the 2, gap up and then pressing up into these levels. Has a top side that it hit at $5. $5 up there. It's almost a dollar ATR, but it doesn't have based on its limited history, it doesn't have the ATR, or I mean, not the ATR, the relative volume or the relative standard deviation calculated. All right, coming down, let's go and look at NXTP then. NXTP is another one we're looking at. So that 181 was the previous candle's high. So we'll see how that ends up holding. If we look over here on the monthly chart, we can see it a little bit better. Actually, I'll bring this over so Reliable can see it too. On the monthly chart, we see where it's broken over, and the previous high is right at that 181, and it's just bouncing off of that. We'll see where it ends up holding, or if it can hold. Now remember, some of these do not, NXTP did not have a standout catalyst. So, you know, I would be careful with anything that does not have news, because, I mean, why would buyers jump back in, you know? Why would buyers jump back in?
Well, I think it's decent to mention that anybody that's shorted this from that volume period on that move up or this move down, I mean this gap up could uh, kind of squeeze some of them out. So being able to hold above that, I'd say the body candle of December 13th, it closes at was at 57s.
Mm-hmm.
So I'd say as long as it holds above 57s, I think if you wanted a baby position, I think it's relevant and enough. And looking at the pre-market action, this opening candle is the third candle on the 15-minute for a pullback. So it
Yep.
had that nice move early. So pullback one wasn't anything too red engulfing. The second candle pullback is also a little indecision, but a little bit more selling, of course. But now we have this third candle. If it can just hold above this 160, 170 range, I'd say it could easily turn into a green move. I mean, even looking at all the areas that it was resisting over the period of the year, I'd say a lot of those tops are coming in the 150. So being above 150 could give you some movement.
I do see a dividend stock falling. It's NTES. It's down 20%. It pays a quarterly dividend. I'm gonna pop over there real quick just to look at
That
that.
one also has some news relevant to video games over in China. I
Good.
seen that last night.
Yeah.
Where something with maybe I shouldn't
It says China is
talk out of
cracking
my ass,
down
but
on tech again. So they're cracking down on some kind of, I don't know what they're doing, but I look into it. That's something for the dividend if it's going to continue. I'm not going to buy it up here. I just like to see things crash. So we'll see where it ends up.
that CDTX is trying to hold some levels here. I'm trying to see if this will give any type of
RMCO coming on
pullbacks.
down under
Oh, there's
$4
coming back
now.
in now.
NXTP, and then you said CDTX. Let's see
Yeah,
what CDTX is
I
doing.
really want to see this test back down into this neckline of low 80s, where I might try and start something if it can pull back into that range a little bit.
Yeah, One Life. China's always, I don't know what it is about some Asian tickers, Asian names, but I don't know if it's just excitement from the West, or I don't know what it is. It makes them go crazy. I don't know. They're always jumping around. That's why I'm very wary of holding those
That
any types.
SMFL is catching a nice candle through that 250 right now.
Yeah. SMFL is up. Definitely see that. It's the third leading mover on the day with 11 million shares in pocket. So I'm pretty sure we
I'd
pretty
say
much.
another one I'm looking at here is that Neo. Excuse me. That Neo holding above 8.
What's the
Caught
ticker?
some NIO. Had
Oh
a
yeah.
decent. It was resisting that 8 for quite a while, and then it kind of gapped up. Had a nice red candle where it looked like it was going to give up 8s, but now holding above 8s. If it found a way to get over top of 9, it has a nice gap at that 1030.
Yeah, it's
That
got a
could
big
be a
old gap
decent
right
run.
there on the 15 minute from what is that, 8:30 back down here to 8:16. I'm wondering, will it need to consolidate above 8, above this 825-ish level before it tries to move higher? It says Neo achieves year-end gold with let me pull this up. Where is the news? Neo achieves year-end goal with 1,000th power swap station. So okay, this is another Chinese EV maker power swap station. So go plug your
I
car
think
in, I guess.
another one of some relevance is AA. It's an aluminum. Everyone's heard of Akola, I'm sure. But aluminum itself also had a really nice support level that it was pulling back into. And AA had a nice 28 neckline break, and this one is taking out highs as well. So maybe if you guys knew of any aluminum companies, I'm sure they're probably following trend along with this AA move. But I thought that the aluminum chart itself has been setting up. But that one was taking out the highs. Thought it was relevant.
So
Maybe not for trading.
below three, looks like 390s. RMCO is red on the month. Uh and we'll see how it ends up holding, but yes, below 90 is looking red. Let's go and look at NXTP. Continuing down through this 181 level. Remember, this one did not have any catalyst, but may get some buying at support from people that are just, willing to buy there, or people that are willing to cover there. But without a catalyst, I mean, what's the reasoning behind it? We don't know. The other one is SMFL, still holding up above this breakout level of the pre-market, broke over this 250 level and kind of holding. If we look back a little bit, we can see that it did have trading here. Don't know if it can get all the way back up to 3, but right now holding around this 250. So
that Rocket Labs that we talked about earlier, catching an all right candle, but approaching that wick top from December 14th.
oh yeah,
Could be
Rocket
something to
Labs.
watch. It's a little bit higher float, not the most amount of volume yet, but I think over top of that
Wait a minute, what's the
that
float on it?
550 level
Let me see.
could be
Rocket.
of relevance.
Well, let's see what the float is real quick. Float is 287 million. Oh yeah, that's gonna be a chopper. A chopper. You gotta buy low on those. If you know it's gonna be choppy, if you see a higher float, you have to buy. Buying a breakout is insane on those. Just buy low, bro. If you're gonna buy. Cause those bad boys, they're just, I mean, it's just like. And then the other thing is, it may not ever break out on the day or the week that you're looking for. It might just go sideways. So,
I like the opening candle off of that C limited as well. Kind of dip back into the yesterday's green candle a little bit. A nice, pretty. I think the low is a 37.50, 37.53 low. So holds that whole
yes.
50-cent level, and if it takes out yesterday's high, it could be a nice equal size candle coming
SMFL
on.
back below 250. NXTP it's seeing a little bit of buying pressure here, trying to hold that 180 mark here, and then RMCO getting a little bit of buying as well. All right, let's look. What?
That ENPH breaking out too. New highs on this consolidative period. I'd say it has a nice gap up to those 150s. That one's run quite a bit though, but relevant, taking out highs.
Look over here.
Mara, another high on Mara. Mara has just been a beast. I freaking had a beautiful entry on like an 11 break and just sold it. I should have never sold it. I would have been sitting beautiful on that Mara. In
Let's.
hindsight, it's always in hindsight.
Yeah,
But no, that Mara's been running pretty good though.
yeah. Maro crypto, all of crypto was just blasting up. I know you saw Soul. I'm pretty sure you saw Soul where it's at.
Oh yeah, that's freaking been going crazy.
Yeah,
I looked at it. I thought I seen it in the hundreds.
yeah.
That was fucking insane. Or excuse the
Because
language.
the last time we saw it, it was like at one point it was like $35 and then it's like, well, it's going to the moon. Arcade Rocket Lab gave a little bit of a breakout, looking like it's gonna pull back in there. ASST SMFL still trying to hold this 250.
That
NXTP,
ASST isn't a half bad look.
yeah, NXTP
Uh,
is I don't know. This one's just got to close. Got 5 minutes to this 15-minute closes. It just looks like it keeps getting some type of pressure here from the 150 up here to the 175. So I'll be surprised if this doesn't go green on this one. If it continues red, I mean, it might, but this buying pressure above 150 is looking interesting for a short scalp. Not a short scalp, but a short time period scalp.
that I mean, all I did on that NXTP was mark that. I mean, the body candle tops, and that was 157. Really nice action off that 157.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, and even going into a 5-minute chart, looking at, or maybe even need to go to a 3-minute chart, you can see that majority of that volume in that first 15-minute candle came on the test of that 150s.
Yeah.
So a little bit of buying pressure there for sure. That could be something to watch.
CO. Okay, so yep, there it's getting some pops over 175 on NXTP. Let's see if 175 starts to hold because that 175 would be what, a 25-cent risk down to that 150 for maybe a $2 test up here, and it's up 96%. So people are looking, but let's see, the body of this candle over 189 is where it needs to go to show a little bit of bullishness. RMCO continue to hold on to the 4.
That RKL is really testing up to that.
Oh
Right up
yeah.
at these 42s right now.
Let's see it come on back.
I'd
We know
say
about
any
these
pullbacks
breakouts.
into this, like if this, you got 2 minutes to the close, like any pullbacks into this nice green candle, you might have to be aggressive with it. By like pullbacks like 525s,
But the
right in the
only
middle
thing
of that green
is
candle.
with this float, if you're aggressive and it snaps back a whole lot more than you're thinking about, with a low float, if it goes out, it may actually hold up here. But with a higher float, those snapbacks can be deadly. So I'm looking
Yeah,
for a
all
snapback.
I'd be saying is that the same buyers that bought this green candle, like if it closed this 15-minute candle like this on 600K of volume, I'm telling myself that, hey, those same buyers that bought this candle are gonna be there. They're not gonna let their entry go. Oh, I just got alerted on that CDTX at 82s. It's at 82 flat right now,
Yeah, I
holding
see it.
right at the top of December 5th, and bought up really quick right there. So
It's up 12%.
but
We'll
still,
see.
back down to these 82s. This is gonna be something that I watch right here.
Yeah.
A little
Um,
bit more like into the body candle, like that
the
80 flat area. I think
The
I'm
only thing
gonna try
CDTX is
small.
missing for me, like we look over here on the scans, it's got an ATR of 6 cents. That's yeah, I need it to be higher. It's got the relative volume, 21 times normal volume. It's got the relative standard deviation, 7 times out. But that ATR, I mean, how big of a position are you going to take to for those 3 cents? 10,000 shares, 20,000.
I'm not looking for 3 cents. I'm looking for a dollar break
What?
and top end channel
What?
150.
Yeah. So that's maybe, but I don't know. Let's look back over here at NXTP. Still holding this 175. About to close this candle now and in about 15 seconds on NXTP. Let's see if it can actually hold 175. All right, here's 170. It did open up higher, so the level that would be used for a stop, it would be 157-ish. If it can hold over that, let's see what this candle wants to do. I was thinking this candle could go green and try to challenge some of this sell-off, but again, no news. Could be a
I would say off that candle
breakdown.
close right there, this next candle, that 204 high could eventually end up being the breakout for this name on NXTP.
But with no catalyst, how's it going to break out?
Anybody short is just going to be getting clobbered.
If I was
Look
short,
for
I
that
would be so
consolidated
confident. I would not be covering anything. Let it come up. I show it again.
I don't know. I don't know about that.
uh,
I'd say you have some legitimate resistance here at this 2 where it's rejecting. If you look
RMCO
back
is
over
going
to
for a breakdown as
December's,
well. Breakdown of the 350s looking like. It's sitting on 370 right now. And this one
yeah, not the
actually had
greatest first
news, so
15-minute candle, but
I'm
might take a little
wondering
bit of time on that one.
previous levels. I mean, the only really levels that it has is these pre-market levels, 283, 337 to like what 350. It's got a little zone there, a little bit at 3. I mean, below that, I would just be like, yeah, it's probably done.
That RKLB, nice 15-minute candle close compared to everything else that we've looked at. Everything else has that nice red candle. This one with a nice healthy green candle on
Yeah.
nice
I
700K volume is a decent amount of volume
I
there too.
think RMCO has the best chance of actually doing something. It's got a nice ATR, but the only thing is it just is doesn't have the history. So if it does something crazy, it would probably be for people that don't really care about any historical value. They're just trading it on the day because it's moving up. They could get a retest of 4. They could get a hold of 4 and then a retest of 450. But we got to see on RMCO looking kind of dangerous.
I'm gonna start a small
NX
position on this RKL.
NXTP holding up the 175s temporarily. MULN going on down now. It went up there and touched 1450, now down to 1205s. I wouldn't touch that with a 20-foot pole. They did a reverse split and they had a news report that they were selling like 3,000 vehicles or something like that. Some kind of news report, but it's like, may or may not be valuable. All right, but for right now, we're just watching the top movers, top 3 movers: NXTP, SMFL, and RMCO. Rocket Labs did come back down. This is what I was saying with those breakouts, like on a
I
higher
took that
float.
entry right there on 530 was my fill. Got
Yeah,
the bottom
let's
fill
see if
there.
it'll hold. Where's your
530.5.
out gonna be? $5?
Right now I don't have the position built. I wanna get more.
Oh, you're in small and you're looking for more.
Yeah,
Okay.
just small size, but this is first candle number 1. If it shows me a wick and that next candle is, uh, let's say, gives me a red candle of decreased volume, I'm gonna be looking for that 525 to really get this position built out.
NXTP held the 175 back up to the 185s. RMCO still kind of in limbo. Maybe it'll need to consolidate a little bit before it does anything back up to the upside, but still up 81%. And then SMFL needing to hold this 225-ish level that it came across. NXTP getting a little bit of pressure to the downside. RMCO, I don't know, man. RMCO
Excuse me.
is a questionable one. Got 20 million shares on it. Let's look at RKLB here. Trying to hold up this 530 level.
I like where that CDTX wicked into as well. If it can consolidate a little bit and present some sort of entry, I like where that's wicking into. I think this is going to be one that we see maybe trending up over the next couple months.
And why would it be trending up?
Um, just this neckline break that it's having, you're getting a positive break on strength. You're getting a pop in volume, and it's wicking into the tops of some levels.
Let's see what CDTX is. I don't know. We looked at this one. CDTX. Let's see what his profile says. You said in the next couple of months it'll be going up. Let's see. This is a biotechnology, long-acting anti-infectives. for the treatment and prevention of infectious diseases and oncology in the United States. This is a COVID. Oh yeah, I looked at this one before. This is a COVID type deal. HIV, bunch of different viruses that they're trying to eradicate or satiate. But started in 2020 or 2012, um, based out of California. I don't know. Therapeutics companies holding them long term
Also,
is I don't
my
know.
bad.
Oh, go ahead.
I do like that 15-minute candle on Neo, and it's also leaving that wick into the middle of that 15-minute, kind of or kind of fairly similar to Rocket Labs, not quite up near that 9 break. Uh, but I would definitely say that it's showing that wick. If it pulls back in towards that 825 range, I'd say it's not a half bad look. I might go on the
So
might go on the bid for it.
RKLB is looking like it wants to try for the high pre-market high, which is 550.
See if it gives me that 550 break. Whatever I got right now, we're just holding. We're holding, and I would say first trims I'm looking at in front of that 6 level. You got a 602 gap from September 11th.
NXTP being stupid,
That
coming back up to
RKLB,
$2.
I should have put a little bit more size on that, but if this next candle, if it closes this candle, we got 730 left here at
Okay.
this 540, and it shows me another candle and leaves any type of wick, it's going to be building that sort of bull flag in a sense. But
SMFL coming on down, giving up, and so we got our top movers: NXTP, RMCO, and RKLB. We'll see which ones want to do what they need to do, or not what they need to do, but you know, RMCO just continues to be a sleeper on the morning. I think it's a sleeper. NXTP going for a breakout here of $2. Will it find that resistance? Trying to break. This will be the first red 15-minute candle that will be a breakover. 205 up 122% with no catalyst.
also got some nice action off of this GNS. If you want to flip over to my screen real quick, I'll just zoom in on it. But I think it's a relevant little trend that's potentially building here. It still needs to work out some levels. But just connecting these lows on this GNS, crypto has been running, and this is related to that crypto. If you want to talk about levels that's pulling back into, you look at this November 16th. This is low 70s right here, and it's leaving a wick into that. Have a little bit of strength on your side, not the most amount of volume, but when it took out this neckline right here, nice green candle on definitely a higher volume than usual. If this wanted to keep trending, one thing that it was able to do on this wick top was actually confirm, fill that gap. And then I think it also got this gap right here, not quite, but that gap is sitting right at a 1. So as long as it's holding this sort of,
Is this a
oops,
mover from today? Where'd you get this from?
this was something that I traded back on the 15th, but just holding a small piece of it still.
Oh, okay.
But it is wicking into that trend line. I think that's maybe something that could be watched if it were to hold this trend line a little bit longer, present some sort of 80 break. It could be something that gives some movement.
Okay. Let's jump back over here. We're coming to the end of the stream as well. NXTP ripped over. Well, I say ripped. It got over $2. 15 cents over $2. RMCO still, I think, is the sleeper on the day. And then RKLB got back down to the 531s. It should get back down here to the 525. So you may get some more entries around this consolidation, 525 down to $5. We see the buying pressure that came in here from 480s up here to 514s, and then 486s up to 5s. So we see a little bit of buying pressure. I will be aiming to get buys around this buying pressure because somebody with some money, unless this breaks.
What name are you talking about?
RKLB. Rocket
What's that doing?
Labs.
Yeah, I'm kind of just looking to see how this 4-minute candle is going to close. If it wants to turn into a green candle, it's probably going to break out. But if it closes like this, I'm looking for one more consolidative candle.
RMCO ready to get up as well.
That
Nice buying
that
off that
index
350.
that index TP, I think it's relevant to talk about the volume increase from candle 1 to candle 2 when it takes out this high. So I just marking the top of that first candle, any retest back down into 2, especially if it closes this candle the way it is, it could be worth trying to get an entry on this for sure, because this is already at a breakout. It's already over its breakout. Its breakout was 182, 1 penny above it, and being able to hold and take out the high of that first candle. Yeah, there's some legitimate levels that we can run this. Just running it up to the top of this February highs is 310s, and then you run to the bottoms of June 22. This is kind of a flat bottom break here at that 340. There's some legitimate upside potential right here. So any pullbacks into that too, you're looking at 50 to 70% for that window right there. I think this is definitely one that's going to be on watch for me today after the stream's done.
Yep, yep. Let's see. RMCO, like I said, was getting that buying pressure. And it actually had a catalyst on the day. That's why I was thinking it was a sleeper. Um, RKLB still kind of around the 530s. Donnell says he is into NXPT. His average price is 1009. He got the breakout of that first red candle exit 230. 200 shares. Nice.
That's a nice one right there.
Yeah, that was the first red breakout. So on something that doesn't have catalyst, you have to go with technicals. You have to look for those, hey, does everybody else see this? This thing's been coming down red, red, red. What's the pop gonna look like? So he got the breakout out of a low. He didn't get the breakout out of a high. Like
2 minutes till this candle closes. This Neo candle looking not half bad. Still decent amount of volume on this candle, but a nice wick into the middle of that green candle. If this just trades sideways for a little bit, that 850 break could give you a nice move on something that's not as volatile. Definitely higher float, so you're not going to get just wadunked on it. But I think that's not a half bad look on that Neo setup as well. Seeing that second candle trying to fight green.
Okay. All right. Well, we got about 2 minutes left. Of course, this is Reliable Rudy. That's who you guys were hearing on the stream. He has a channel as well. He can drop his information and stuff into the whatchamacallit.
That's all right. That's all right.
But yeah, Reliable Rudy. He's always another voice of trading. So, but
yeah, sorry if I cut you off any time during the stream.
Oh no, you're good.
I think it was a good mix up though.
Yeah.
I try to tune into your streams as much as I can, and
we just try to spot those killers, man. those rip your face off ones,
I do think it's relevant to keep an eye on that C limited though. I think that 40 break on C limited could be legit. Any pullbacks into this, I think it's a legitimate swing that could give you some movement. That gap at 57, that's a nice look. So those are some of my watchers. Add a little bit something different, but definitely where the big money's at is in these low floats. If you can get the right entries on them, for sure.
Yeah. But yeah, you guys, if you're gonna continue trading today, definitely keep your head on a swivel. But that is it for me and Reliable. And yeah, you guys have a great weekend. Of course, it's gonna be a long weekend. A Merry Christmas to everybody. We're heading out of 2023 and we are running towards 2024 fast. So if this year you made movements as becoming a better trader, becoming a better risk assessor, risk analyzer, whatever you want to call it, congratulations on that. I know that Donnell has been making sniper shots all year. He's just in here he's like, yeah, I'm just waiting on it, hit it, and get it done. But couple other people have also been making trades. We also have the Discord where people post and talk about their different thoughts and things on their analysis. But you know, it's been a pretty good year. I've made a lot of changes coming out of this year, being 60-40 on the charts and really just looking for those quality trades. And I do a whole lot more documentation now for my trades. So it's kind of like the plan is written out. You know, everything is kind of just it just works together now. But anyway, that is it for us. And as always, I'll see you in the next one. Peace.
Peace.